The Jehovah's Witnesses are one of the most enigmatic and debated religious communities in the world. With millions of followers in over 240 countries, their impact is undeniable. But what lies behind their beliefs and practices? Why does their doctrine generate such fervor among their faithful, while simultaneously provoking strong rejection from those who have decided to leave the organization? In this video, we will explore the truths that few dare to reveal about Jehovah's Witnesses, from their rigid organizational structure to their strict rules of conduct, including the controversial prohibition of blood transfusions and the practice of disfellowshipping. These aspects have sparked debates and accusations worldwide. Stay until the end, because what you'll discover here may completely change your perception of this religious group. Before we continue, tell me, what do you think about organizations that require the isolation of former members? Leave your comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to Divine Journey, give it a like, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss more content like this. Jehovah's Witnesses are a community known for their doctrinal firmness and highly structured way of life. Their presence in society does not go unnoticed. They are recognized for their door-to-door evangelizing work, their rejection of blood transfusions, and their apocalyptic worldview. However, few understand the magnitude of their internal structure, the control they exert over their members, and the consequences faced by those who choose to leave the organization. To understand the influence of this community, it is essential to know its origins. Jehovah's Witnesses emerged in the late 19th century in the United States under the leadership of Charles Taze Russell, a man deeply interested in the interpretation of Scripture. Russell established a Bible study group that later evolved into what we now know as Jehovah's Witnesses. From the beginning, their movement was characterized by a unique view of Christianity. They rejected the Trinity, denied the existence of hell as a place of eternal torment, and proclaimed that the end of the world was near. One of the most striking aspects of Jehovah's Witnesses is their belief in the imminence of Armageddon. According to their doctrine, the current world is under Satan's control, and only Jehovah's faithful followers will survive when the end times arrive. This conviction has shaped the lives of its members for decades. They have predicted the end of the world on multiple occasions, with the most notable dates being 1914, 1925, and 1975. Each time one of these predictions failed, the organization reinterpreted events, claiming that Armageddon had begun invisibly or that there had been a miscalculation. The emphasis on the nearness of the world's end has had a profound impact on the daily lives of Jehovah's Witnesses. The organization discourages its members from making long-term plans outside the community, such as pursuing higher education or accumulating wealth, since the priority must always be evangelization. This mindset has led many to sacrifice personal opportunities, convinced that the time in this system of things is limited, and that Jehovah will soon establish his kingdom on earth. However, beyond their theological beliefs, what has generated the most controversy are their strict behavioral rules and the level of control they exert over their members. The organization, led by a governing body based in Warwick, New York, sets detailed guidelines on almost every aspect of a Jehovah's Witness's life. These rules cover everything from dress codes to permissible forms of entertainment. Witnesses are prohibited from celebrating birthdays, Christmas, and other holidays deemed pagan. They must also avoid music, movies, and literature that promote values contrary to those of the organization. One of the most sensitive topics is their absolute rejection of blood transfusions. Based on interpretations of biblical verses such as Leviticus 17:10-14 and Acts 15:29, Jehovah's Witnesses believe that receiving blood, even in life-threatening situations, is an act forbidden by God. This has led to numerous preventable deaths, especially among children whose parents refused transfusions. Although the organization promotes bloodless medical alternatives, the refusal of this type of treatment has sparked intense ethical and legal debates worldwide. Another highly controversial issue is the practice of disfellowshipping. When a Jehovah's Witness violates the organization's rules or voluntarily decides to leave the faith, they face severe punishment, complete shunning. Community members, including close family and lifelong friends, are prohibited from speaking to them. For many former members, this experience is devastating. Parents stop talking to their children, siblings ignore each other, and marriages dissolve, all due to this policy. The organization justifies this practice as necessary to maintain spiritual purity and protect the community from negative influences. However, psychologists and experts in cult dynamics argue that ostracism is an extreme form of social control that causes deep emotional trauma in those who experience it. Loneliness, depression, and, in some cases, suicide are among the consequences faced by those who are disfellowshipped. Over the years, Jehovah's Witnesses have also faced serious allegations regarding the handling of abuse cases within the organization. Investigations in various countries have revealed that child abuse cases have been dealt with internally without being reported to authorities. The organization's internal policy requires the presence of 2 witnesses for an abuse allegation to be considered valid, which, in most cases, makes it impossible for victims to obtain justice. Higher education restrictions are another point of debate. Although attending university is not explicitly prohibited, the organization strongly discourages members from pursuing higher education. Their publications and speeches warn that university education exposes young people to worldly influences and promotes a lifestyle focused on personal success rather than devotion to Jehovah. As a result, many Jehovah's Witnesses limit their education to manual or technical work, which can affect their job opportunities and economic independence. Despite all these controversies, it is undeniable that Jehovah's Witnesses maintain a tightly knit and organized community. Their members find a strong sense of belonging and mutual support within the congregation. They are known for their discipline, work ethic, and dedication to evangelization. For them, following the rules set by the governing body is not an imposition, but an act of loyalty and faith. This raises the question, what leads a person to become a Jehovah's Witness, and what happens when they decide to leave? Many people join the organization seeking spiritual answers, stability, and a sense of purpose. However, once inside, they discover that their freedom of thought and decision-making is limited by a highly hierarchical system that discourages questioning. Leaving the organization is not an easy decision. Most former members face the fear of isolation, the loss of their loved ones, and the challenge of reintegrating into society after spending years or even their entire lives within the community. Some manage to rebuild their lives successfully, while others remain trapped in a state of guilt and confusion. What is clear is that Jehovah's Witnesses are a community that generates both admiration and controversy. For some, they are an example of faith and devotion. For others, they represent an oppressive system that restricts individual freedom. But this is just the beginning. Many more truths remain to be uncovered about this organization and its impact on the lives of millions of people. Jehovah's Witnesses have built a system based on absolute obedience to the organization. To understand their internal structure, it is essential to analyze how their congregations are organized, how their hierarchy operates, and what role the governing body plays, the group of men who dictate the rules for the entire community. The governing body is the highest authority within Jehovah's Witnesses. It consists of a small group of elders who reside at the world headquarters in Warwick, New York. They present themselves as the only legitimate interpreters of God's will on earth, granting them absolute power over millions of followers worldwide. Every decision they make, every rule they establish, is considered as if it came directly from Jehovah. This means that any disagreement or criticism is seen as rebellion against God Himself. The organization's control over its members extends to the most intimate aspects of their personal lives. They not only regulate dress, music, and entertainment, but also supervise the friendships that members can maintain and the type of information they can access. One of the strictest rules is to avoid any material critical of the organization. Jehovah's Witnesses are constantly warned about the dangers of reading books, watching documentaries, or even listening to testimonies from former members, as they are told that these sources are influenced by Satan and seek to lead them away from the truth. Ultimately, Jehovah's Witnesses have created a tightly controlled system that demands unwavering loyalty. But is this devotion based on genuine faith? Or is it the result of systematic indoctrination? The answer remains open to interpretation. If this video has inspired you, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. And of course, share your experiences in the comments. Together, we can build a strong and positive community. Thank you for joining us on this journey of growth and transformation. See you in the next video.